send it, try to see if anything happens. Obviously, Lou, when he landed on the ground, was like, all right, who wants to box? All right, nobody does.
All right, joining on board with TSM, who are currently second place in the lobby, 3 points behind CLG. We will be getting the typical drop from them. It looks like they were gifted with the beacon as well. It's hard to tell, actually, but Hal's going to be pulling on over towards that train station. And no, they don't actually get a beacon here. So that's going to, slow them down a little bit, but they should be able to find one on the rotate.
No Name typically has one, and that's where you go from this side if you're not able to find it. But you may meet some resistance from teams over towards Overlook, but TSM is just so darn fast. And also, I have a good feeling that Hal's pretty decent at calling where these zones are going to go just based on where round number 1 is. But we do see this is going to be the North Zone. So, it's true. It's all scripted. The first 3 games of Series E are going to be South Zones. The next 3 have to be North Zones.
Yeah, so love to see this one coming out. It is going to be pulling on over towards Countdown right now. It looks like we have Cooler up top taking trials as well. And so they'll be pretty happy with this one. One of the longer rotates, though, coming up from Applejacks, but they have been decent on playing the edge as well. This is one of those squads that you were talking about, stepping it up on every facet of the game, being able to play the edge and also playing the patient game, the long con for the end game as well.
We've seen a lot of things. We've seen Aves coming through and playing an aggressive Octane and also a Wraith. And typically when you do that, you are going to be like the main slayer for your team, I guess you could say. Tridal comes through with a support type of role. Rollers does as well. And you could see just based on when they were knocked over towards the back of Tree, Tridal put up his knockdown shield so they could get Aves back into the game. Rollers had a gold bag. He was able to res them both. Yeah, they didn't win the game. They had a tough rotation out. I thought they should have played the high ground where they're at, put pressured on top, and then eventually rotated. That's the game that third impact won, and that was game number 1. But Applejacks obviously lands Tree. We've seen 3 South Zones for the first 3 games. Now we're going to see what it takes for them to actually make a far rotation like the other teams had to do to go to their land.
Yeah, still good timing on them. It's a minute 30 as NPL changing up their drop spot. Do not want to fight up against Noko's squad down at Dome, so they're over here at Refinery. But the team's already trying to gatekeep them here. As you can see, a team playing over by the train tracks and the rocks for the time being. NPL just getting some armor swaps, still stuck on the white Evo shields, unfortunately. See if they can find anything else.
Yeah, because Refinery's loot is absolute buns. The only way that you're able to fight this, and we've seen, I think Team Cheese It in Season 1 realize this, is that you have to play the roof, and then everyone just gathers up on the roof and waits for them to slide down. You're going to have a couple different opportunities to fight them. One is when they slide down the hill. The other is when they actually have to clamber up the side and then charge the roof. And Third Impact is the type of team that will. So if they all spread out like this and they just all have white armors, they're going to get picked apart by a team like Third Impact. So I'm curious to see what Nestle Pure Life does. And the reason that a lot of teams don't land over towards Refinery is this is the type of loot that you'll get. It's kind of like Train Station.
Rockstar versus Na'Vi, but Rockstar do finish that one off. We got the fast res coming out as well for them, but the pings are coming out. Third parties are going to be soon, and the EMP drops on top of them as well. But looks like they will be able to recover tech for the time being. Still need to heal up, though, as they are getting scanned up by the drones. The re-knock coming out from Madness to take him out. And Rockstar, they are in some hot water here, splitting up. Matt Pickett drops the low. Now the Gibraltar caught out by himself as well.
Yeah, hot Rockstar. I typically like mine cold. I'd take it medium or room temperature, but boiling hot, I don't think so. So CLG putting the pressure on them, and that's tough. That's tough because they've been playing pretty well and they're trying to get their feet underneath them. And now it's just alone Matt Pickett. A lot of times we've seen tech in these instances, and you don't want to lose out on your crypto. So Matt Pickett going to most likely be on that Tomcat rat cam in a little bit if he doesn't get taken out. But Team Cheese, it looks like they found themselves in a little bit of a skirmish. You also see Cooler gets into it over towards the side as well. Joey Blackout sends it into the bubble instantly. Massive with the purple bolt. Looks like he's trying to take on the Gibraltar, and he looks like he doesn't do it either. 303. I thought Joey had it. The shots look clean, but the Gibraltar shield's just too strong, and now Rakinishu's there to help.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2v2, though. They were able to trade 1-for-1 at the very least. Rakinishu backing off that door with the thermites down. It's an armor swap onto a white. Prodigy Aces is trying to find something for him. We do have the blue armor swap as well. Joey Blackout still bleeding out throughout all of this, but Rakanishu with this angle does spot out one. Matt Pickett gets finally finished off by Lou. Not all this Team Cheez It though, now trying to turn the pressure. Pyrodice getting knocked down by Rakanishu. He's got this high ground control, and Joey Blackout is going to get rezzed up by Prodigy Aces. So Rakanishu has done a good job of pulling this attention away. Has two of them separated from the knocked player as well, buying so much time. Joey Blackout will pop that Phoenix kit for the time being, and Rakanishu again slowing down the res here for 303, bubbling forward into that Gibraltar. He has to be careful here as he runs right into the Thermite, and he takes the 1v2 and falls. But we'll see. Joey Blackout now left in a 1v2 himself. We'll see if he can try and clean this one up. There hasn't been any third, so no armor swaps quite yet, but 303. We'll finish that one off. We're down to 14 squads as Sentinels gets cleaned up by a combination of Team Razor and Team Rice Krispie Treats.
Rakanishu was playing that so well, but that bubble went a little farther than I thought it would, and maybe he did too. He yeeted that thing, and the other Gibraltar ended up using that to his advantage. The grenade was there too. He just wasn't able to win out on that fight. The 2v1 just didn't work out, and honestly, he played it perfectly up until that point too. So nice job by 303. You could see he played that so well, and they still were able to win that with just two players. So keep an eye on 303, see what they're able to do going forward. Pop-Tarts now inside the train tunnel. You see the scans too. They're in the zone. Question is how far do they want to push out of this? Are they going to elect to hold this? Is this a kill opportunity, or is something that they just caught in the middle of a rotation?
And they do have to be careful here, but we've seen teams be able to utilize this position well to walk in late for the circle. This one probably pulling over towards that northern building on on Countdown, as we see from time to time. Down here over by staging, Team Intel. A lot of damage did Metro, forcing out the bubble though, and you might have an angle to shoot underneath it as Metro's trying to get his armor back. It's like, okay, there we go, grabs it, but he does have to heal it up, and going to be up to 6 to try and buy some time for that. He does get tagged, and unfortunate for him, just 2 damage off as he hits this cell for himself. But they do recover, and they'll have another attempt at this. Good damage, but it's the purple on the other side, and that arm shield thing can work for that Gibraltar as Panders gets tagged up, and he is going to be forced to heal up. So a lot of utility being used throughout all this. You have the defensive bombardment going down on top of them as well, and Panders will fall to it. It's going to be Hyarka that picks that one up, and you have to imagine Los Carritos, they've been running the Octane, they've been running the Revenant, are just going to try and full send it on this one. Here is the bubble res for Metro.
Here come the ghosties. 5, 4, 3. Oh, they don't have that death totem, so they're sending it with their normal HP here. It looks like they're going to actually back off after the bubble res comes through. So Pander's going to be able to full heal inside this building. Must be the pressure coming in from 6. Looks like he hasn't taken much damage, but now he's been spotted and he's going to go down from the Spitfire. So that was all 6. Just try to buy time for his 2 teammates. And unfortunately, he bites the dust for that. But still a decent effort overall. Whenever you're on this low ground, this is not the spot. So they're going to have to focus on how to get out of here instead of fighting their way out.
Los Corridos are getting third party throughout all of that. Hyarka came in and cleaned that one up. Tanner slays from behind as well, picking up Uzako, and now they're down to just 1 player remaining. So Team Intel have to weather the storm here. And we do have the Ultimate Excel, but Panders not going to have a moment to actually use that now as the gas is coming in from this team. Go ahead and use that Ultimate Excel now, though. It was Team Pringles who are trying to come in for third party from the north side. And so they'll back up off of this one as they don't have the luxury of all the information that a Bloodhound affords you here. And so they play this a lot safer than I think most teams would and just back away.
I like this play coming in from Pringles. They're respecting the lobby, as you should. And again, it's all about getting that caustic into the late game. That Wamo combo is going to be extremely strong. Look what Cooler's doing. They're finishing trials, and they're going to rotate super late over towards Countdown. I like this. You see Pop-Tarts holding inside the choke. And then TSM is gatekeeping all of these teams. So this is a big play from TSM. They understand the situation here. There's about 3-4 teams coming in on this rotation, and they have the perfect vantage point.
Yeah, despite how quickly TSM can rotate, it's just so hard to get into Countdown. They're just set up over here by Train, and they will, of course, just play their circumstances. And this is definitely a position, especially with how Hal, Snipe Down, and Reps have been shooting today, for them to pick up a lot of kill points on the G7 Scout for Reps as well. And so We'll see how well they can utilize this position to pick up those kills. I look like there might have been a res going down over by staging.
This is hard to watch. The 1-2x coming in for reps. I mean, man, I wish he had a 2x or a 3x, and he would be such a threat on here. But I'm sure he's still going to be able to lay some damage down. And you're going to see what Snipedown has too. He's going to be rocking the Volt, so similar to the R9 that he had before with the purple mag. The Volt a little bit easier to track here. And he's just connecting with some long-range shots. Team Noko over towards the side. You saw Tanner Slays get the knock. Now it's going to be Noko healing up himself over here as he's hitting that med kit. But they are caught on the low ground, and they're taking some random shots. And if you thought they were on the low ground before, now they're on the mega low ground over here. And there's a couple other teams crawling down there with them.
Yeah, Team Intel finally getting some revenge on them, getting the knock onto one. Now, it's all up to New King and Tanner Slays here. As the drop down comes out from Metro, he's going to bring this down to a 1v2, and they finish this one off. Six has been bleeding out this entire time. The zone is closing in. This is just round 2, though, so they should be able to recover off of this one. And that is a massive recovery, by the way. They had to res Six back into this. He got knocked on the drop down. Now he's going to be forced to just heal up here while the rest of his team loots.
I think that they're going to be stuck with bad heals, though. I mean, there's a decent amount of boxes. I just feel like that's a long way to go to get back into the zone from the low ground. So we'll see who actually makes out alive on that team, if not all the players. NPL, fresh off of their team fight, looking pretty solid. I like this positioning, coming in with the charge rifle, mixing things up for Bambino. Charge rifle is extremely useful in these type of areas. You can see, Jamerson, just how much open field there is, and Bambino would love to take advantage of that, but he has 2 different angles he has to worry about. Obviously this team over towards the south, and then possibly over towards the sniper post. But if he leaves this high ground, then these teams could easily walk up. So he needs someone else over towards the left, basically scouting to see if these players are going to actually make their way up. So connects in a couple of 9-3 bombs and just kind of relocates after he gets that information.
Yeah, they have 2 minutes to work with here, and they need to find an opening, but it looks like TSM, with the gatekeeping over by Train, were able to get the knock onto Panders, and their patience will finally pay off for them. They do at least secure that, and there's going to be gatekeeping this the entire time, and that is Panders down, by the way, so no port, nothing like that, to allow them to try and rotate through all of this. And TSM, they're just going to pick up this loot, being a little aggressive here, but we'll see how aggressive they get, as they've already taken about a quarter of their HP just from the ring damage alone. So there is an opportunity to be able to outplay this one. TSM have to be careful in how aggressive they get off of this. And there's the call made to get back, as Hal is already down to about 40 HP throughout all of this. Joining back on board with Los Carritos, who did survive throughout all of this. They got Uxako back into this game. Death protection has been cleared for 90s. He was trying to come in for the third party up against TSM. And I guess that's why the call was being made to retreat. Like I said, there's an opportunity now for the outplay. We'll see if TSM have fully recovered, if they've healed up from the storm. Uxako really not in the position to try and help out. He doesn't have any armor. 90s goes down, and that should be Los Carritos getting cleaned up.
Nasty spray there from Hal, completely confident that he's going to recharge his HP up through the Octane passive there. And look at the shots coming in from Snipedown onto Six. This gatekeeping play call out was huge coming in from TSM. There's the bubble rest coming in from Team Intel. Looks like Snipedown wants to send it in there. Going against Gibraltar, though, does a decent amount of damage, 104. There's the knock, the re-knock onto Six, and there's the finish coming in from Hal as well. He'll take that kill lead. 3 kills overall. TSM starting to heat up in this lobby. They do have pings going on down where they want to play too. So I love this coming in from TSM. They understand the situation. They get over towards the train, and all of these kills and all of this loot gets rewarded for them. And now it looks like Reps will either be able to switch his gun or at least get some sort of scope for that poor scout.
Yeah, definitely a better scope at this point. TSM now making their rotation here. They are already on the edge of the zone. Hal is just keeping an eye on the eastern side. A lot of teams are going to have to move in. We saw NPL were playing that choke over by the frag side, and they were dealing with the team themselves. There was also a team that was inside trading tunnel. I don't know how long they were there for. It looks like NPL decides to opt to go for a northern rotate through the ring, but they run into some trouble. Team Pop-Tarts here already gone down to 2, and E-Boy Ronnie is the only one alive. And Team Pop-Tarts are happy with this one, but the third party attempt is coming in. 2 members just knocking down that door, but the EVA 8 has put in so much work. Cooler trying to take advantage of this situation. It looks like they will. Lucas try to get out of dodge with this Q for now, as Cooler picks up 2 kills.
And the worst thing is they're going to be able to heal up after that. So now this is a full 3-on-1. Lucas may have had his opportunity throughout all that, but I don't think he's going to be able to now with everybody just farming now. Cooler coming through on the Skyhook side. Making quick work of the third party there from Team Pop-Tarts. What a job there. And perfectly timed as Rice Krispie Treats now has to drop over towards the low ground. It's up to Casper here. He does have the R301. It's running out of ammo. No attachments either, so that's not looking good. Now Bird drops down. Does have the Mastiff, but he's in between two different teams here as TSM starts to push in. They're ready to third party this.
Yeah, the scanners come in, but because of the third party from the eastern side, they're playing this a little bit more cautiously. They do get scanned up, and they're going to use that jump pad to at least have the high ground and play from a safer position, a bit more cover to work off of. They need to buy time, though, for reps to heal up. He needs to throw down that beautiful thermite right on top of him, gets the knock onto Bambino. But again, that third party is just spoiling TSM's game plan here. They do at least secure the thirst with that thermite. Now they can turn their attention to the team to their south.
Love that jump pad. We saw from our point of view that there was a little bit of the high ground there, and the call happened basically within a second, and Hal throws it down. The rest of the team follows up, and they get rewarded with a kill, but also better positioning so they can continue to just run around and do whatever they please. So now it looks like the rotation going on over towards the right side. It's up to Snipe Down to continue to scan and try to get information so they can determine how they want to go and approach this one. CLG looks like they have a little edge of the zone that they're going to be working with, doing something similar to what TSM was with a little bit of a gatekeeping strategy. Is now we go back to Hal. They get the rest of 303 down and finish. They actually all full set and dropped as the zone was closing because they didn't want to deal with them when it was actually closing, and he griefed while they were running parallel to them. So nice heads up play coming in from TSM. But there is the third party that you were talking about. 152 coming up the zip line. Nice shot from Yuki. But it doesn't look like they're ready to follow up on it. They want to rotate instead.
Yeah, Cooler spotting out CLG right above them for now. They can play behind here as Team Razor making the rotation in. They are on the south side of the zone towards Lava Fissure, as they do have tracks right in front of them. So they were in a fight. Right now, though, Cooler trying to make the push. Always Senpai goes down. Flashpoint have been biding their time here in this low ground position as they do lose out on one. Lou helps out as well, finishing off Flashpoint, but Cooler still need to try and recover Dell. Unfortunate for them, he is going to be that Wraith, but the gravity lift as TSM come in for the third party on CLG. They've gotten the knock and the thirst. It's a 1-for-1 exchange. Make that a 2-for-1 exchange, and it's all up to Vax, but TSM will take them out, and they will now take the lead up against CLG in this lobby. Razor, though, trying to make their push on to Team Pringles here, and Attaculo left alone with no HP, dead now as Team Pringles survive this fight over on Lava Fissure.
What a job by Pringles. Now we get to see possibly another Nox gas grenade with a minute left, possibly some Altic cells being popped. TSM continuing to heat up here. Hal flies in, does a lot of damage. The pings go down, and they fortunately get him back in this building and get some more resources so they continue this run that they've had. Like you said, overtaking that lead from CLG, but we'll see if some other partnered teams can continue to add pressure. Team Pringles is one of those teams that are sitting on the left side of the leaderboard. I think they're sitting around that 5th, 6th area. So that's a team to watch going forward. But there is a scan that shows that there's players below them. But look at this head glitch. Hal is in the zone right here, and all three players from TSM, if they wanted to, could utilize that position.
Applejack slow playing this one. We're able to make their way into Countdown. They have the main building to work off of as well. Trinal, and we'll keep an eye on the back side here just in case someone tries to go for a cheeky rotate. With some timing in a few more seconds, he can go ahead and refocus his attention to the north. Now, Cooler were able to recover. You saw that gravity lift being used by Yuki to allow Dell to rejoin his squad, even though he was knocked. And now here they are, and they have a small position that does provide a little bit of cover, and they will be inside the ring. Yuki still on that Kraber. He's got 3 shots, though. This could be the difference maker. They've got TSM right above them. This is a tough spot to play off of. Again, watching their back, making sure it's clear. They're going to be safe for now.
And then we're going to see where the zone is going to go here, too. That's a very important thing on where it closes and who has the slow side of the circle, who has the most area to work with. Is Applejacks with the high ground. Big grenade. Is this one going to land? It's a little bit further than he was hoping for. Maybe trying to bank it off the wall. That player just stands there, not even worried about it. From Abe's point of view, it kind of looks like that one was going to connect, but looks like That's just a wasted utility, and now they're looking to go towards this door. Oh my gosh, that's TSM just with a full send. They scan the door, they realize they're a little bit split, and they mop Applejacks in seconds.
Yeah, Team Pringles tried to come in for the third party, but the instant swivel. We had the armor swaps for TSM there. They're just cleaning up the lobby. The Cooler's the only team left now to try and challenge as they go up on top. We have the gravity lift being used to regain the high ground. Reps has fallen, and Cooler might have found the opportunities. Playing this out in a 2v2 up against TSM. The Kraber, though, in the hands of Yuki. Not quite what you want here in this final fight, but Cooler will be able to come in for the third party and take this game.